Welcome to the Business and Beards podcast, spotlighting Miami County businesses. You bring your business and we'll provide the beards. Hello, and welcome back to the Business and Beards podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, always Buddy, and I'm Parker with Go Brawling. Today we've got Tammy Booe, the director of Miami County Community Foundation. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys? Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. So we brought you on for a special occasion, but let's talk about what's happened in the last few months since we last had you on.
Okay. One of the goals, so I've almost been the executive director for a year. September 1st marks my 1-year anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you. And so one of our major goals was just to get our name out there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, even though it's been here since 2007, just haven't heard of the Miami County Community Foundation. So that's been a big goal this, to get that out. And I feel like we've made a lot of progress. I've been going to groups, Rotary, been to Osawatomie and Lewisburg's Paola's is in 2 weeks to get the name out there. We've created a monthly newsletter that goes out now. That's been going for about 4 months. And have our Facebook page, which I'm regularly posting on to generate some and trying to get people to share. And then also on LinkedIn. So feel like we're finally getting our name out. At least people have heard of us. They might not know what we do, but they've at least heard of us. And the other thing, my goal, we have about 22 funds with the foundation. And my goal was to reach out to each one of those individually, make contact, make a relationship, just introduce myself. We have a new board that a lot of them hadn't maybe met or known about. So I have successfully been able to reach out to all of them, and either, whether it's in person or just talk on the phone or email even, have been able to make contact with all of those funds. And I have a better feel for what those funds want to do with their money, which philanthropics in Miami County they want to support, and where their direction is. So that's what we've been doing for the most part for the last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you been a part of any kind of like chamber coffees or anything? I know Lewisburg, I'm assuming, and I'm speaking out of turn here, but I'm assuming they'd love to have you either host one or be a part of one, because of it, everyone in this community kind of comes together to help each other. And I think what you're doing is fantastic. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the organization's first full-time employee,
right?
Correct.
Yes.
This was kind of like hey, is this going to work out? But It sounds like it's going awesome, which is kind of a relief. Plus, it helps a lot of people. So and you get a I always tell people, if you get to support yourself by helping others, it's kind of the best way to do things. Yes. So that's awesome.
Yes. And yes, we are a member of all three chambers. Have not hosted an event yet. That's on my 2nd year agenda.
Yeah.
But I have been to many at all three cities with the chamber. Have been to several coffees, things that they put on. But yes, that is our plan, is then within the next year, or starting into the next year, probably after the first of the year, is to get on and actually host chamber events at each one of those places and get our names out.
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to Becky. I know a few people who haven't had offices at New City Hall, and I think that would be a huge transition for you. Those typically get quite a few people. And so that would be kind of my next step. That would be, I think, a good presence for Lewisburg specifically.
Yeah. Great suggestion.
Anything we can do to help, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So if I'm not mistaken, though, you guys have had an event since we last talked, though, that you've helped with another few organizations, correct? Wasn't it a suicide prevention?
Oh, okay. So it is so 2 of our funds focus on suicide prevention. Mm-hmm. One was in June, the Shifting Gears with Reagan. Yes. She does her annual fundraising event in Miami County. That was back in June, and very successful again. They've been doing that for many years, and she gets a lot of support from Miami County, and not only businesses but residents participating. So that was a huge success. The other group, Stomp Out Suicide, is based out of Osawatomie, and their event is coming up on September 13th.
Okay.
Down at the Flint Hills Trail. She does a walk every year for a fundraiser. They've actually added a cornhole tournament in the afternoon now. But the walk is in the morning at 9 o'clock. You can come down, walk, and you're done by 10:30. You have the whole rest of your day. So, because I know Blocktoberfest is usually on that same day. So,
Exactly.
there's so many things going on in the fall, but they do have a cornhole tournament that they're hosting. I believe this year it's at the City Auditorium. But that is their annual fundraiser. Both of those groups donate money in Miami County, a lot specifically to the schools for suicide prevention, to either bring in speakers, to send teachers out to training on suicide prevention, whatever the schools would like, to help with that suicide prevention. So those are two of our very active groups that have both, had one and
Yeah.
getting ready to have one. So.
There we go. So if you don't mind, let's kind of recap on what Miami County Community Foundation does for that process. Would you kind of go back through and talk about what something that would entail on how you guys help?
Yes. So we have the 501(c) status. And if you've ever went out and gotten that, it's very difficult to get. There's a lot of paperwork. You have to do annual reporting, annual accounting every year. And so we have that designation already as our umbrella. And so any of these groups, like the two I mentioned, that come in and start a fund with us are automatically covered under that 501(c) umbrella. What that means is any donations that are coming into them are tax deductible. So a lot of people look at that when they're making donations because they want that tax write-off. And we do all of the reporting and the accounting underneath that. So they just come in, start their fund with us. The money comes through us. We keep track of it for them. They get a monthly statement every month showing what's come in and out. So it's very transparent to them. And they can call me at any time if they need to know if something has happened in their account or if they're, need a quick statement. But monthly, I do send those out to all the fund holders so that they're aware of that. So
Fantastic.
that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it does, definitely.
On the business side of things,
Yes.
I'm curious because obviously your organization is very not only needed, but I would say encouraged. I think a lot of people would respect what you, but how does your organization stay afloat? Do they just maybe take a percentage of the donations that are given? And so what can kind of people expect if they wanted to say, hey, I want this, give back to, animal shelters or whatever it is? How does that work to keep you guys in business? Because you guys do a lot of work. You can't do it for free. There's
Right.
no way to. So
Right.
how do you stay afloat while helping other people donate money?
Good question. So there's two ways. We do charge a 1% annual fee.
Okay.
That goes into our operating fund for all of our funds based off your dollar, your balance in your account. And that takes care of all of your accounting, all of anything you need. Now, a couple of like scholarships to originally get those set up, there is a $250 fee right up front because scholarships especially, there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of time spent up front. Once it's established, you get on a routine.
Yeah.
But just getting the application set
Everything
up, getting a
costs
hold
money.
of the schools to get on their scholarship calendars. Then getting the applications back in, getting those back to the individuals to review, getting that back to the school. So there is a fee with those, but other than that, it's a 1% fee.
Okay.
So the foundation has two funds that we have within those 22. We have an operating fund and we have an unrestricted endowment fund.
Okay.
So the operating fund is where any of our expenses come out of. Obviously, my salary comes out of that. The unrestricted endowment we keep so that, say, for instance, you mentioned animals. We don't have a fund right now that is specifically their philanthropic project is animals. So say somebody called me, reached out to me and said, hey, we've got this situation. These animals need help. Is there any way you guys can help with some money? I can reach out to all of our funds. And I've done that several times. Just send an email out. Hey, we've got this philanthropic need. If any of you are interested, let me know. But if none of them are, because that's not their area that they focused on, we have our unrestricted fund that we can also pull out of. If we feel it's something that's necessary, needed, etc. So we get the 1%. We also get a lot of donations that aren't specific. They just want to donate to Miami County.
Yeah.
Not maybe specifically. That goes into our unrestricted endowment fund so that we can make those opportunities when they come up.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, you guys helped the Paola Chamber of Commerce as well with the pedal car event,
Yes.
the Paola 600-inch this
Yes.
last year,
Yes.
get that off the ground for some of the initial costs. And it definitely was beneficial having you guys work alongside to help benefit Lakeville at
Yes.
that time.
Yeah. Yes, we did that. That was a great relationship. We actually, that kind of triggered another one. Osawatomie is getting ready to kick off a big campaign for Memorial Hall restoration. And they have started a fund with us because they want that separate from the city. And they want the community to really be involved. So they've set up their fund with us to run that through their, tax deductible, of course. And then all the funds will go to Memorial Hall restoration. So that has triggered another one.
What are maybe some, 2 to 3 categories that you see on your side that could really use some benefit of a fund or additional funding in our area?
Well, the two things that definitely come to mind are housing. We get a lot of, right now we have the Osawatomie Ministerial Association, and they help with rent, utilities, etc. But there's a big, that's specifically to Osawatomie because they're the Osawatomie Ministerial Association. But we see a big need for help in Miami County with rent, housing, utilities. The other thing would be food. There's definitely a food. We're actually looking at a grant through the Patterson Family Foundation. Again, they are so generous to rural communities that they have a Hunger Across America. And we're looking at how can we maybe, utilize that grant to help the food pantries in all 3 of the cities that Miami County covers. So I would say housing, rent, and food are a big need that we hear about, that we don't maybe have any funds that specifically go to those. But definitely a need out there.
Yeah.
So let's say somebody's interested in doing some donation with that towards one of these objects.
Yes.
How would be the best way for somebody to start that process? Would it be reach out to you guys?
Yes. If they would like, if they have a specific area that they would like to donate to, or in that matter, if they'd like to start a fund. A lot of people think you have to have a lot of money to be philanthropic. You don't. Our endowed funds are $10,000. But our pass-through accounts start at we'd like it to be a minimum of $1,000. And with that, you put in $50 a paycheck or $100 a month. That builds and grows. It's tax deductible, and you can start those. We have a group of girls who just started. They call them giving circles. You've probably heard that before, but they didn't feel like they could do it individually. But together, they're each putting in $25 a month.
Yeah.
Into this fund.
That's awesome.
And they'll decide, they'll be one of those that I probably reach out to when we have one that, is not specific, because they don't even want it to be specific to a certain philanthropic. They just want to help.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, they'd be one of those ones when I reach out to with those emails, that I could see saying, hey, we'll help with that. And it just feels good.
Yeah.
To know that you're helping other people and you're doing something good.
Well, and keeping things local has a lot to say with it too. And
Yes.
I have no quarrel with state help or state assistance. It's all needed. Everybody needs help, but being able to bypass some of those guidelines and regulations that, you need help, but we can't do it because of this, this, and this. I think, the more local funds we can have, the better, because it is truly then just helping your neighbor.
Yes.
It's not, dealing with all the red tape. And I think that's a huge, huge benefit. And I truly respect these types of organizations, because people do run into tough times. There's no way to get around it. And if we don't have the mentality of helping your neighbor, it could get a lot worse. It really could.
And that's one thing I do love about, like we said before on my first one, I grew up here. This is my home. It's always going to be my home. I love Miami County. And all of our donors are from Miami County, and all of that money stays within Miami County. It's a very local, no strings attached, no red tape to get through. You don't have to jump through hoops. That, like you said, I'm very proud of that all of the money starts here and it ends here.
Correct. And there is definitely some resources in Miami County and a ton of good people who are willing to share them. And I think it speaks to the community. And we've only been here 2.5 years, and we've already met people that are kind and generous and supportive. But it is hard to know what to do. Do I give one person $100 for gas,
Right.
or do I start a foundation so people who need money to get to work have that availability, right? So I think the more awareness we can bring this to the public, the better.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
But in regards to that, you guys are actually having an event come up next month that is very exciting that could actually help jumpstart
Bring a lot of money in. Yes.
Would you talk about that?
Yes. So the Patterson Family Foundation, which is how that's the grant that we got to hire the executive director. It's a 3-year grant. They're very supportive of rural communities. They do what they call a match day month. So there's 186 Kansas community foundations, and they offer this to all 186. And what it is you pick your month, and we picked September, and they will match up to $100,000 any money that you bring in during that month. So during September, if we bring in $100,000, they will match us up to $100,000. That's $200,000 into Miami County that will help with philanthropic projects ongoing. And kind of towards the end of that, last year we did not do an event. This year we decided we wanted to do an event for twofold. Number one, to get our name out.
Yeah.
And number two, to kind of celebrate at the end of the month.
Yeah.
That we've hopefully reached our goal. So on September 27th, at Town Square in Paola, we are holding an evening out in Miami County. And it's basically $30 depending if you buy individual tickets, or if you buy a table, it's only $25 a ticket. And that includes dinner, which we have Legacy Homestead out of Paola catering the dinner, an open bar, trivia night. We have a trivia company coming in and running a trivia night for us, and we have gotten a ton of silent auction donations / experiences. We've heard that people like experiences.
Definitely.
And so we are very excited about some of the experiences we're getting coming in. And so that is just to get people in to celebrate. We have some new funds. Part of that is, so our current funds that we have, whether they're endowed or pass-through, if they're an endowed account, we are matching them. Any new money they bring in, we're sharing what we're getting from Patterson with them. Any money they bring in up to a certain amount, we had to max it out because we only have a certain amount.
Yeah.
Per Patterson, 50% of that has to go into our operating fund. And the reason for that is they want our operating funds to grow to be able to support, after these 3 years, the executive director position. But the other 50%, so 50,000 hopefully, we are sharing with our funds. If they're an endowed fund and they bring in new money during September, we're matching them 50%. If they're a pass-through, we're matching them 25% and there's a max on both of those. They've all gotten letters, so they understand that. Any new funds coming in are the same way. If they are going to come in as an endowed fund, we'll match them 50%. So an endowed fund is $10,000. So if they bring in $10,000, we're going to match them $5,000. They are starting out with $15,000 in their account. If they're a pass-through, we're matching them 25%. So we're encouraging new. Part of my second year executive director grant is I have to bring in 3 new endowed funds next year. And one of those, I'm happy to say, is coming in during the month of September.
That's perfect.
And starting with us. So I know we have one endowed fund. We also have the Osawatomie Restoration Project. They're doing their big kickoff in September. And so we'll have that money coming in as well to match. So
that's awesome.
Those are 2 that I know of that we have coming. But anybody who's thinking about wanting to start a fund, September is a great time to do it because we're going to match it and it'll get you off to a great start.
Yeah,
so.
that's awesome. The sooner the better.
The sooner the better, yes, because there's a lot of stuff that has to happen. So
what if, and this may be irrelevant, I'm a little ignorant, so bear with me, but what if they already have an organization? Can they move to be represented by you? Like, say they have an organization who has $37,000, and
Yes.
maybe they don't understand all of the legal jargon and administrative. Can they move that to you and
Yes.
kind of have the same situation?
They can, yes,
Okay.
definitely. Or for instance, the new fund, and I don't want to say their name because we don't have, but
Yeah,
officially haven't
that's
yet,
fine.
but that are coming over, they're just taking they're taking $10,000 out of an account they already have
Okay.
and putting it into the foundation because they see the foundation can help them.
Yeah.
And grow their money and do these matching events, etc. And so they're just moving some of their money. They could move all their money. We have a couple of funds that are other philanthropic projects. There are other philanthropics or 501(c)(3)s, but they maybe not all their money. They can't all their money, but maybe they just want to move some of their money over and see what it does in the foundation and how the foundation can help them, especially with these match day events.
Yeah. No, I think
Did
that's
that
awesome.
answer your
It
question?
did, definitely did. And that's what I just don't want someone out there maybe struggling and running their own currently, but thinking, man, I wish I could get out of the day to day of this and
Yes.
just focus on the big picture, which is the people they're helping.
Right.
You kind of do that day to day. So how about we
Yes.
just kind of meet in the middle, right? So I
Yeah.
think that'd be a huge opportunity.
Well, and that's something, I mean, the investment side, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I even in my personal life, my husband takes care. He does that.
Yeah.
He enjoys that. That's his thing. So all I see is when I do the reports every month, I just see their accounts getting bigger.
Yeah.
Which, I'm like, woo, yay.
Correct.
I don't
Exactly.
understand all the investment side. We have an investment committee of people that make those decisions, and they're obviously making great decisions because, again, those accounts just keep getting bigger balances because of that. So,
That's awesome.
yes, somebody that knows what they're doing to take care of that kind of thing
Correct.
is
Everyone's got their
invaluable.
own specialties,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. So, is there anything else you'd like to share about that event coming up?
If we have a flyer, if you're on Facebook, it's the Miami County Community Foundation. I think it's the facebook.com/MCCF.
Okay.
And if you go there, I've been posting some of our silent auction teasers. And then the flyer is actually out there. The flyer has a QR code on it that you can click on to actually go buy. You can buy individual tickets for $30. Or a table of 8 is what your trivia team is. A table of 8 is $200, so that's $25 a piece. And or you can sponsor a table of 8 for $300. So if you're a business and you want, get a little name recognition out, you can sponsor for $300, and we will be promoting your business that evening with announcements, etc. So that's how you get a table. We are maxing out at 30 tables. I think we're going to get, if not stopping it, we're going to max out. So get out there and get your table bought. We've got a lot of buzz around it and a lot of excitement. Also, if you have something you would like to donate as a business or an organization, I would love to hear from you. I've tried to reach out, but I'm one person, so covering Osawatomie, Paola, and Lewisburg. And so I know I haven't hit everybody that I could, but we would love to have donations. We're putting together silent auction packages and baskets, and you will get recognized that night as a donor. So lots of different ways you can come and contribute that night.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it. We'll make sure to share this stuff on our page when we post the video. Tammy, thank you as always for joining us.
Thank
We'll
you.
go ahead and wrap it there. So,
Okay.
thanks, guys. Keep Miami County growing.